having a very good response from the speakers as well as from the attendees. We continued in different years, and now it's our episode 5. So we are continuing this year also. So before I go into the detail, let me introduce a brief about what the iLEAPS is. So iLEAPS is integrated ecosystem atmosphere processes system, which is a global research project of future Earth. It provides understanding of how interacting physical, chemical, and biological processes transport and transform energy and matter through the land atmosphere interface. The prime purpose of this colloquium is to introduce the scientific community people with the distinguished and significant work of eminent scientists all over the world. It is a very bright opportunity for ECRs to interact with the distinguished speakers and establish the bridge between the ideas and the knowledge through this platform. So, our today's speaker is Professor Ahmed Kamrazon Majumdar, who is right now the Dean of Faculty of Science at Stanford University, Bangladesh, and previously served as the head of the Department of Environmental Science in the same university. He is a distinguished environmental scientist with expertise in air pollution, noise pollution, climate change, and their impacts on public health. He earned his MPhil and PhD in environmental science and engineering from Kathmandu University, Nepal, supported by a prestigious Norwegian government scholarship. Professor Majumdar has led numerous research projects and has authored more than 70 scientific articles published in respected and international journals. He has also presented over 50 research papers at international conferences and is widely recognized for his contributions to advancing environmental science in Bangladesh. Professor Majumdar is the founding chairman of the Center for Atmospheric Pollution Studies and the Environmental Initiative, both dedicated to environmental research and advocacy. He also served as the convener of Bangladesh Nature Conservation Alliance and holds the position of Joint Secretary. So today he will talk about the spatial variability of particulate matter in coastal Bangladesh, which is a comparative analysis. And he will also give the comparison of WHO air quality guidelines, which shows all the sample district that exceeded WHO recommended limits for both pollutants by large margin. So I again welcome Professor Majumdar. The floor is all yours. Now we will want to have your detailed overview about this topic. And we really apologize for the technical problems we have faced today, and due to which there is a bit delay in starting the program. And we are very thankful also that with your a busy schedule and also the festive season, you have taken your time out for this thing. But we will assure you that it will be completed on time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pallavi Saxena. Uh, Please allow me little time to share the file. Is it coming or not?
No.
Lloyd,
Yes, sir.
শেয়ার একটু আগে তো শেয়ার হলো, এখন হচ্ছে না।
স্যার শেয়ার অপশনে গিয়ে আপনার স্যার স্ক্রিন যেটাতে ইয়ে আছে, ওই যে পিপিটি ফাইলের যে স্ক্রিনটা, ওইটা একটু সিলেক্ট করেন, সিলেক্ট করে ওইটা দিলেই আসবে।
হ্যাঁ দিচ্ছি, কিন্তু এটা যাচ্ছে না।
Professor, you have a button which is writing, displaying as the arrow up, and it has been
Share.
seen share. So where you can share, and when you share, you have to click on entire screen. Then the screen will come.
Yes, I shared the same way previously, but now for some reason it is not coming. Let me.
Yes.
Yeah, there
Now,
you go. It was
yeah,
coming.
it was coming. Yeah.
Sir, I was trying and it was working. So I think you can try once again. I think it will do. I just tried to open and it opened.
Okay.
If yeah.
There is a box in the display. You can see.
Yeah.
নীলা, একটা বক্স কি দেখা যাচ্ছে?
স্যার আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি না, আমি দেখতে
আচ্ছা,
পাচ্ছি।
আমার এখানে ওই যে ওপেনিং বক্স ইজ দেয়ার।
স্যার এখানে শেয়ার শেয়ারে ক্লিক করলে
হুম।
প্রথমে আসে স্ক্রিন, তারপরে আসে উইন্ডোজ। দুইটা অপশন, দুইটা জায়গা আছে
হ্যাঁ,
একটা
হ্যাঁ।
হ্যাঁ, উইন্ডোজে ক্লিক করেন। উইন্ডোজে ক্লিক করলে এখানে হচ্ছে যে নিচে গেলে আপনার যেখানে হচ্ছে পিপিটি আছে, ওই ওই স্লাইডটাও, মানে ওই ইয়াটাও আসবে, আইকনটাও আসবে।
উইন্ডোজে যাব না? ওকে,
হ্যাঁ
ওকে, আই থিংক আই গট।
হ্যাঁ,
আই থিংক ইট ইজ দেয়ার।
স্যার স্যার এখন আসছে, এখন আসছে। ওকে।
Yes. Now it's visible.
Yes, finally.
It's coming. Yeah,
Yes.
perfect.
Okay. So I'm really sorry for making you delayed. So welcome to today's presentation. First of all, I would like to convey my regards to iLEAPS and of course Dr. Pallavi and uh, the team for inviting me, and Samina and other from iLEAPS for inviting me. And today we are here to talk about special variability of particulate matter in coastal Bangladesh. And you know that Bangladesh is popularly known as a riverine country, but it is mostly coastal country, and coastal impact actually reach up to the capital. So from the geographical point of view, like we will say out of 64 district, like most of the district, like 19 districts actually directly we can say the coastal district, and other districts also have a, huge impacts on coastal climate, coastal environmental aspect on the rest of the districts. And talking about the air pollution, we all know WHO reported in 2024, in 2019, 99% of the global population was living in a place where WHO air quality guidelines level are not met. And a combined effects of the ambient air pollution and household air pollution are associated with almost 7 million premature deaths annually, where 89% of those premature deaths occurred in low and middle income countries. And in another report shows that every year around 150,000 people died here in Bangladesh due to air pollution. And according to World Air Quality Report 2024, Dhaka city ranked as the third most polluted city in the world, with an average PM 2.5 of 78 microgram per cubic meter, according to World Air Quality Report. And UNICEF said around 1.8 million children worldwide are breathing polluted air. But the scenario here in Bangladesh is more worst compared to many other places. And if we talking about the coastal Bangladesh, as I mentioned already, it is vast. It's more than 700 kilometer long. We have the world largest unbroken sea beach, that is Cox's Bazar, and you will see that is this Cox's Bazar became the it is the world largest sea beach, but now in the coastal districts out of 19, this Cox's Bazar became the most polluted city, one of the most polluted city. Across this coast actually built with 19 districts out of 64 districts, and it is the home of 35 million population. That is almost like one third of the total population. And our coastal zone consists of a western zone with Sundarban, the largest single track mangrove forest in the world. Then central zone is mostly magna deltic plants, and we would say the eastern zone, that is the Chittagong coastal plain. And the ecosystem is very dynamic, including mangroves, coral reefs, named St. Martins, sand dunes, and wetlands are the main characteristics for this coastal ecosystem. And economic drivers, mainly fisheries is the main contributing livelihood, that is contributing 3.5% of national GDP. Salt production, tourism, shipbreaking, these are the some of the economic activity. And this region holds significant potential for the blue economy, including 26 gas blocks. That is the majority of the gas blocks in the country are in this region, and it is the potential for the offshore wind and tidal energy. And if we considered the pollution, air pollution sources in this coastal area, we can find a lot of actually sources, but bricklines, vehicular emission, shipbreakings, port activities, uh, coal-based power plants. These are the pioneers in terms of pollutant source, along with the industrial emission, construction activity, biomass burning, saline soil or sea salt or coastal dust, agricultural activity, tourism-related activities. There are some transboundary pollutant also seen in this region. And keeping all these things, actually, we conducted our study. This is actually a part of a nationwide study from where we separated the coastal districts information, and we are presenting here that only that part selected coastal region. So the objective of this study was to assess the special variability of particulate matter, especially PM 2.5 and 10 concentration across selected coastal region of Bangladesh in order to identify pollution hotspots and regional distribution and patterns. Along with the to compare the observed particulate matter with the WHO and Bangladesh National Air Quality Standards. And this is the actually coastal zone of Bangladesh. Uh, and in this study, 12 coastal districts along with the Bay of Bengal, which is more than 18,000 square kilometer and inhabited of again 18 million population. In this study, we considered 7 land use. We called sensitive, residential, mixed, commercial, road intersection, industrial, and village settings type of like land use. And in this study, we use censored, and that was in this study, a campaign-based study are being done. We collected PM 2.5 and PM 10 data, and we compared with the WHO standard of 25 microgram per cubic meter for daily average, and whereas Bangladesh daily average standard is 65 microgram. So with both the standard, we compared this in this study. This is the data collection, compliance assessment, and integrated analysis. And if we see, these are the instrument that we use. And finally, if we see these findings actually for the result, all 12 districts are being tabulated here. And for PM 2.5, very interesting things, as I mentioned in the beginning, this Cox's Bazar is the most crowded tourist spot in the country. And it is in the southern, most southern district. And it is a very popular city for the tourism. And what we see, among all 12 districts, Cox's Bazar ranked the #1 coastal polluted city. And Patuakhali is the out of 12, number 12, the lowest polluted city for the PM 2.5 and PM 10. And these Cox's Bazar actually, if we consider the Bangladesh standard of 65 microgram, then the air quality for PM 2.5 concentration, that is 2.8 times higher than the Bangladesh standard. And if we consider PM 10, that is 1.8 times higher than Bangladesh standard. But as the Bangladesh standard is like a very flexible one, and compared to WHO standard of 25 microgram, then for the Cox's Bazar, the air pollution, especially for PM 2.5, that is 7.3 times higher than WHO standard. So, and for PM 10 also proportionally lower, and compared to WHO standard of 50 microgram, it is 5.5 times higher. But you can see in all districts, there is a proportion for PM 2.5 and 10, like where the pollution is high, the PM 2.5 proportion is less from this graph you can see. And where the pollution is comparatively lower, the PM 2.5 proportion is higher in PM 10. So this was the interesting findings, and there was some reason behind this, and like sea salt and other issues are also involved. And in this area, in Cox's Bazar, Noakhali, Chittagong, Lakhipur, Feni, out of 12 districts, these districts are more pollutant compared to Borguna, Firozpur, Bhola, Bagerhat, Satkhira, Khulna, and Patuakhali. Patuakhali also the coastal districts and tourist spot after Cox's Bazar, but not that much of popular. But very surprisingly, even though Patuakhali is a tourism spot, but it is only one third pollution, PM 2.5 are being seen in Patuakhali. That means in Cox's Bazar, three times, three to 3 point something and times higher than the Patuakhali, the lowest among the coastal districts. And Feni is, which is my home districts, in between, the stand in between, and but still it is 2 times higher than national standard. So these, we can say these are the some of the pollution hotspot in terms of PM 2.5 and 10 in terms of particulate matter. And in the coastal region, in latter part, I will be discussing reason behind the high pollution. And actually, what I already said that are described here, and we can see from Cox's Bazar to Feni, there is a gradual decreasing trend, and from Feni onward, other districts, if we see the map, then we can see that the high pollutant districts are in a clustered, and compared to lower pollutant districts are in another clustered. So that is the interesting findings from this study. And if we see here in the coastal districts, this is the Patuakhali, the second tourism places, second highest tourist places after the Cox's Bazar. So when Cox's Bazar PM 2.5 is almost 180, then in Patuakhali it is below 50. And in other district also, here you can see the PM 10 standard, and this green one, this PM 2.5 standard. And this is the whole Bangladesh map from the similar study. And we found that only one coastal district, and you see in when we started whole Bangladesh, these green districts are the pollution concentration, low concentrated districts. And in the coastal belt, only this Patuakhali actually that fall into the low air pollution category, that is 0 to 65 microgram daily concentration. And we found out of 64 districts, we found 10 districts that is are in the range of 0 to 65 microgram for PM 2.5. And out of 64 districts in the coastal area, as we mentioned, we have 19 coastal area. And in this separate study, we in today's presentation, we are showing 12 coastal districts, and only one district that is are in these green categories. And you see from Cox's Bazar, Chittagong, Kumilla, Feni, and other districts, these red districts group, those are highly polluted city. And out of 64 districts, you can in the red part, 18 districts are in these highly polluted districts. So you see the country's most pollutant belt are in this cluster, and these are the coastal districts. And there are two island also, and those also highly polluted. And in between the highly polluted and moderately polluted, this green Patuakhali one districts that are in between, and other districts here in other coastal districts also in moderately polluted. But people very often they visit this coastal area for tourism, for inhaling clean air, fresh air, but they never know that while visiting the Cox's Bazar, they are also inhaling one of the most polluted air in the country. So, what is the drivers for this special heterogeneity? High concentration and variability clustered near Chittagong and Cox's Bazar area with intense port activity. What was the reason? The port activity, shipbreaking, heavy industry, those actually that consist with source proximity and episodic operational pattern. Lower concentration occurred in districts, in those districts that are geographically isolated from major ports, and relative stable PM 2.5 and PM10 ratio across districts suggest common sources mix producing both fine and coarse fraction of the particle, while temporal variability is greater in port and industrial districts, reflecting operational cycles and episodic emission. So if we see the accidents versus WHO and national standard, in all 12 districts that we studied, they exceed WHO 24 hours guidelines for PM 2.5 and PM10. So they are not compliance with the WHO standard. And accidents range from the lowest air pollutant districts, that is the Patuakhali, considering that standard, that is also 104%, more or less, to 600% higher than PM 2.5 standard, and PM10 exceedance from 31 to 447%. So 5 districts actually exceeded Bangladesh national standard for at least one pollutants out of PM 2.5 and 10. If we see some descriptive statistics, then also we can see similar pattern from Noakhali to like Feni. This Cox's Bazar observe the highest episodic concentration of 349 microgram once, and this Khulna, Satkira, those showed the lowest concentration of the PM 2.5. So if we see, if we conclude our today's presentation, then we can see Cox's Bazar and Patuakhali, they have the opposite type of air quality. Cox's Bazar mean PM 2.5 is 182, whereas Patuakhali having 51, that we already shared. So high pollution district shows both higher baseline level and larger temporal variability linked to port, shipbreaking, and industrial activities. In Cox's Bazar, all these things are present. In Patuakhali, these are absent. So though Patuakhali is a tourist destination, but fisheries is the main livelihood for the people. So that gives a less pollution. In all 12 districts exceeded WHO 24 hours guidelines for PM 2.5 and 10. Exceedance range from, as I already mentioned, 100% to 104% to more than 600%. Under national limits, 5 districts exceeded PM 2.5 and multiple districts exceeded PM 10 standard. These findings indicates a systematic non-compliance even against less stringent national target, and highlights priority districts for mitigation. This is very important. Our national standard is less stringent. For the PM 2.5, when WHO stringent their standard from 10 microgram to 5 microgram, the annual concentration. At the same month of 2022 in July, Bangladesh, what we did, we make it less stringent. We had an annual standard for PM 2.5 that was 15 microgram, but in 2022 July, we made it 35 microgram. So bringing this less stringent from more stringent. So we are working opposite of the WHO effort. So this is the health implication and quantitative burdens in our study. We use IER exposure response models, and we found among the inhabitants there is a modest to high risk for the people's public health due to the air pollution. So if we conclude, then we can see the coastal area providing lot of economical support to the GDP, but at the cost of high air pollution. And this coastal Bangladesh exhibits an urgent air quality crisis with systematic accidents of high uh, protective WHO guidelines and non-compliance with national standard in multiple districts. So what need to be done? We need a priority action, immediate expansion of continuous monitoring and public data access. We have only out of 12 districts, we have continuous air quality monitoring station in 3 districts only. And we need a source apportionment and targeted control for maritime and industrial emission. We need short-term early warning and health protection measures. We need mid-term designation and emission control, and we need to use AI, real-time air quality monitoring, and other issues, other monitoring in the industry and shipbreaking area. We need long-term coastal air quality strategy with a district-specific reduction target allied to WHO percentiles. And we need coordinated governance, stakeholders, partnership, and we need uh, interconnected activity to ensure protection of the public health. So some immediate, some midterm, and some long-term effect are required to control air pollution in the coastal region of Bangladesh. So with that, I want to conclude here. Thank you so much for your patient hearing. And thank you for iLEAPS for inviting me in this session. Thank you so much.